Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and there was an article floating around today over on Showbiz Cheat Sheet that had the title "Ben Affleck definitively gives an answer about whether or not he's coming back to Batman." I'm paraphrasing it, but the word to focus here is definitively, because that's a pretty locked word. That's a pretty heavy word. You're definitively saying this is going to happen, meaning it's pretty much ironclad, locked in stone, and going to be what we know of going forward. Of course, that's not at all what he says. Of course, that's not at all what he actually means. And that's one of the funny things I have to laugh at when you look at these kind of clickbait articles. And I think there's a lot of them that are going around right now. When I think about the Zack Snyder's Justice League and the DCEU and what this means, Cavill coming back, all those sort of things, a lot of fans, myself included, want Batfleck to return. And I think at this point, he knows they want him to return. We want him to return. He's fully aware of it. But this is a quote that he actually gave to an interview. He talked to Dwayne Hamby, who's a YouTuber, and this is what he says when he was asked about whether he would play Batman again. He says, "Yeah, that's not the kind of... I had an opportunity to write and direct and star in a standalone Batman, and it happened at a point in my life when I lost interest in those stories. I'll go see Robert Pattinson's movie. I think it's going to be great. He's great. But The Way Back is the kind of story I'm interested in telling right now." So what does that mean? What does it mean that The Way Back is the kind of story he's interested in telling right now? Well, think of it like this. When he had signed on back in 2013 to be Batman, that was met with a lot of pushback. A lot of fans were like, "I don't want no Ben Affleck as Bat. He was a terrible Daredevil. He should be a terrible Batman." Fast forward 3 years later when we get to see BVS, and all of a sudden that tune has changed, sir. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's amazing. I love him. Like, please, Affleck, have my children. Just impregnate me with your super seed." You heard a lot of that. Not from me specifically. Maybe. But anyway, people really liked him, and they wanted to see what his story arc would continue in Justice League. And we already know the story of Justice League and how Warner screwed it up, because it was Warner's to screw up, and they did. And from there, Affleck also had his own personal life fall apart. Him and Jennifer, I don't even know her name right now. I can't even think of it. It doesn't even matter. They broke up. They ended up, separating because of his alcoholism. I know he cheated on her, and he kind of hit rock bottom. And it happened at a time when Justice League was coming out and it was crashing and burning. Live by Night came out. It crashed and burned. Warner Brothers dropped it in January. Okay. And they did all of those things, and it just took its toll on him. He's even said that a friend of his pulled him aside saying, "Look, if you go through with this movie, it could kill you because of all the stress and pressure you're under, never mind your own personal life and how that's kind of falling apart." But the story of The Way Back is about, well, redemption. It's kind of an underdog story. It's about an alcoholic who screws up his marriage and wants to go and get his way back. Holy crap. That's Ben Affleck's life in a nutshell. That's why the story spoke to him, and that's why he was pretty heavily praised for his performance in that movie. And now he's even dating Anna de Armas, like a punk. He's dating her, and she played his wife in the movie. But his life seems back on track. He seems to be better. He seems to be healthier, and he has been for a while now. If you've been paying attention to Affleck, there's a lot going on with him that is a lot better than it was a couple years ago. He's been able to get things back on track. And again, that sets the stage for the ultimate Batman return. That sets the stage for the ultimate Batman comeback story. And if you think about it, The Dark Knight Returns is kind of like that story. Hell, even Batman Beyond, the story of how Bruce Wayne kind of fell from grace in his own eyes. He doubted himself. He realized he was getting older, and he just did something stupid by picking up a gun, and that caused him to completely just shut everything down for years until he met Terry, and he brought him back. So it sets the stage for this awesome underdog return from fall, type story that Affleck, I think, would be really good at trying to tell. Not only would he be good at telling it in regards to acting, I think he'd be good in telling it in regards to writing it and directing it. Now that Jeff Johns is nowhere near this project, or this entire company at this particular point, outside of doing Stargirl, which is his own thing, and I think maybe writing Green Lantern, but he's not touching Batman. He's not at the leadership anymore, so he can't hurt it anymore. I think Affleck right now would be in a better position to do it. So when, we see headlines that are saying, oh, he's definitively answering whether or not he'll be back, it's clickbait, because it's not a no. There was no in the statement that I read you. What there was not yet. And so to quote my friend Matt from Lightcast Pod, paused, not stopped. That's the hashtag, paused, not stopped. And he was using that for Zack Snyder and his work on Justice League. Matt's covered it pretty extensively, especially on his podcast. And I've been on there before, and he's a good dude. But really, what it boils down to here is that Affleck is not done yet. He's not done. He's a card-carrying Batman fan. He knows there's legions of Batfleck fans out there who are excited as hell to see Justice League from Zack's vision, which means if it does well, clearly there's going to be the demand for more Batfleck. And I'll be right there with him. I mean, look at all the news moving forward with Henry Cavill. A couple years ago, we thought he was done. Well, I never thought he was done, but a lot of other people thought he was done because all the headlines said he was done. And yes, Affleck did go on to Jimmy Kimmel last year and say he was done. And they made a big deal about it. But that was also before AT&T took over. That was before the Snyder Cut it was a confirmed thing that was going to be coming out in 2021. That is before Henry Cavill has now been in discussions to come on back. And if you paid attention to Henry Cavill from back in like December of last year, when doing a press tour for The Witcher, they asked him, hey, are you still Superman? Or have you given up the role? And he's like, I have not given up the role. What does that mean? He's still Superman. They don't have a place for him right now because there's been a change in leadership. And even though Matt Reeves is doing the Batman and that has Robert Pattinson in it, I think that's going to be its own Elseworlds tale, and I'm fine with that. If they continue Batfleck on HBO Max, which is now confirmed to be the DCEU, that could be something that's fascinating. Although I do feel that Warner's wants, and AT&T here specifically, want Ben Affleck to come back. And I think this is where they're going to find themselves in a conundrum. If Zack Snyder's Justice League is an absolute unmitigated success, yes, Affleck is coming back. But right now, he can't say that. He can't say yay, he can't say nay. Same with Ewan McGregor talking about returning as Obi-Wan for 4 years. He had to sit on that secret. So you have to start reading between the lines. At no point did he say no in that little interview. He just said stories like The Way Back are with the stories I want to tell right now. Because he's still trying, in essence, to repair his own life and to find redemption for his own mistakes, especially probably in the eyes of his children and his ex-wife, and where he's currently at now. But given everything going on with him hitting rock bottom, him climbing out of the pit, so to speak, after having his back broken by just kind of life, and then returning to Gotham, returning to form, dude, audiences would lose their mind over it in a heartbeat. They'd lose their mind over it in a heartbeat. They'd be all down to see more. Personally, I'm one of them. So I want to hear your thoughts on this one. I want to hear your perspective. Do you think that Affleck will return? Yay or nay? Let me know down in the comments. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts and theories. If you want to support the channel, subscribe. Hit that like button. Smack it. Beat it. Like Batman beat the crap out of those guys in the best fight scene for Batman ever from Batman v Superman. I'm just saying it's a good fight scene. It's great stuff. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Remember, hashtag pause, not stopped. And peace out.